My name is Laura, and this is my Draw My Life. I was born in the wee small hours of the 20th of February 1989. To this day, I still get all of my best work done in the middle of the night. I was greeted by my mum, my dad, my teddy bear, which I still have, and my sister, and a lot of red hair. When I was 2, I made my first piece of art. Unfortunately, I chose the new carpets as my canvas and boot polish as my medium. I grew up in a small village in Shropshire, which was a lot of fun because it was full of trees and countryside, but unfortunately it was also a little bit like Royston Vasey. From the age of 3, I lived in the local village pub. It was a really nice 16th century building. But it also meant that all of my friends were a lot older than me and usually quite drunk as well. My best friend growing up though was my dog. I used to walk on all fours when I was at home until I was about 9. I was essentially a feral child. We also used to like dressing him up in socks and pants, which I'm not quite sure if he enjoyed or not. My other best friend growing up was my imaginary friend Peter, who was a bit like my conscience because he was always telling me that I shouldn't be doing the naughty things that I was doing, and I'd always be like, whatever Peter, you square. I also used to watch a lot of films, mostly Disney films. I used to get up before school every morning just to watch some Disney. When I was 10, my dad and his girlfriend took me and her son Greg to Disney World, which was insane. I spent a lot of time with Greg when I was younger. One time we went down the brook, which was like a stream that was by his house, and he got completely stuck in the mud, and there was nothing that I could do to get him out. Eventually my dad actually had to hoist him out by using a tree. When I was 14 or 15, the most important thing happened. I met my friend Emily and her sister Mel, and we just became this inseparable trio. One time me and Mel were in this tree house that we'd built on the school grounds, and this teacher came along and he was like, don't you think what you're doing is a bit inappropriate on school grounds? And we were a bit confused by that. We didn't really understand what he was getting at. When we told him that we were just sitting in the tree nicely, he was very embarrassed and sort of slinked away. One time by that treehouse, me and Emily, had skipped school to go hang out there, and the science class came along, and they just wouldn't leave, and we were hiding in these ferns so that we didn't get caught, and we thought we might die in those ferns because they just wouldn't leave, and we had to be there for what seemed like hours. When I was 18, I moved to Brighton with my boyfriend and had a really awesome 2 years, met some really amazing people, ran an art stall on the Upper Gardner Street Market as well, which wasn't the most professional affair, but it was a great learning curve, and it was also lots of fun. really enjoyed my time in Brighton, and it very quickly became apparent to me that it felt like my real home. After 2 years, though, the inevitable happened, and I did have to leave Brighton at the end of 2010. Lucky for me, Mel and her fiance Jonathan were on hand to come and rescue me and drive me in the freezing snow all the way from Brighton back to Shropshire. So I was a bit sad at the beginning of 2011. However, I didn't know at the time that this was about to be the most amazing year so far. I started the year by having an exhibition at the Brick Lane Gallery in a very badly drawn London. Me and Em went to the exhibition and had lots of adventures in London. And then came summer. Summer was just a ridiculous amount of people, countryside, log fires, putting on plays for Shropshire lords, swimming in lakes, near-death experiences in quarries, drinking, having no money, drinking, bad judgment, dressing up in other people's wetsuits that we find in random houses. One time me and Greg painted a very rude word on my mother's kitchen wall, which in the right light can still be seen. After summer was over, me and Mel and her fiance Jonathan all decided that we wanted to move, and we chose York. I had lots of fun living in York, especially with Mel and Jonathan, and also all of our feathered friends. Probably the most important thing about York was all of the amazing people that I met. There are too many to mention here really, but two that stand out are Bob and Alina. They owned the local vegan restaurant, so there was always food, and me and Em used to go to their house quite a lot and watch ridiculous YouTube videos in their 7-foot bed. But after 2 years in York, I kind of felt like something was missing, and I couldn't shake the feeling. It was a bit strange because obviously I didn't want to leave my friends, I especially didn't want to leave Em, but I did want to go to art school. I was very much in two minds about what to do, and it all felt a little bit ghost world. So I did want to go to university, but there was only one place that I wanted to go to university. So I thought I would apply, and if I got in, I got in, and if I didn't, I didn't. But I did get in, so that's where I am now. I don't really have any future plans. I don't really know what's going to happen, but my motto in life is just to have fun, and that's what I plan to do.